Today we are going to do an activity called How is a Personal Writing Different than Other Kinds of Writing? For the next couple weeks, we will be writing personal narratives. And I want to start our unit by reading an example of a personal narrative. Please follow along while I read aloud. Unexpected guess. Wake up, sweetheart, wake up. I heard a voice whispering and my arm being gently nudged. I rubbed my eyes and squinted to help my eyes adjust. I could see my mom leaning over me in her pajamas. Mom, what is it? I whispered back. Shh. Follow me and come see, Mom answered. I watched Mom swiftly walk through the cabin hallway and into the living room where the moon lit up the entire room. The wooden floor of the cabin was cold under my feet. Mom led the way to the big window where the moon was shining through, and she knelt down on the couch. I slowly knelt down on the couch next to her, and we leaned over the top, looking out the window together. Do you see them? Isn't it something? She asked with amazement in her voice. My eyes searched through the darkness, through the giant pine trees, and up the hillside out the window. It was very dark, but the stars glittered the sky, and the moon was nice and full. Suddenly, there they were. It was breathtaking. A whole herd of elk were traveling up the hillside. Some were stopped, grazing on grass and carefully searching for danger around them. Some smoothly led the way up the hill as the others trailed behind them. Their eyes reflected the light of the moon as they cautiously scanned the forest. There were so many of them, 10, maybe 15. They seemed so much larger in person than I'd seen in magazines. My mom and I sat frozen as statues as we observed their every move. Finally, the last one made its way up the grassy hill and disappeared through the trees. My heart sank a bit. I felt sad to see them go. I glanced up at Mom, still in awe. She grinned at me, and I laid my head on her shoulder. She put her arms around me and squeezed as I closed my eyes and smiled. I will never forget that night I heard her soft voice whisper, "Wake up, sweetheart, wake up." So think to yourself, who's the author writing about? Let's look at the pronouns in the story. When we look at pronouns, pronoun is a word that is used instead of saying the person's name. So, when we look here, I see the word I, my, I, my, I, my, me, her, I. So, using those pronouns just by looking at the first couple lines of the text, we can see that the author is writing about herself. It is a true story about something that actually happened to the author. So, is this personal narrative a fictional story or a non-fiction story? It is a non-fiction story because it is something that actually happened and was not made up. Get out your writer's notebook. I want you to pause this video and I would like you to make this graphic organizer. Actually, it's an anchor chart. Make this anchor chart on one whole page in your writer's notebook. So pause the video. Make sure that your boxes here, these 3 boxes, are large enough because we're going to fill them in. So go ahead, pause the video, and copy this anchor chart in your writer's notebook. Okay, let's fill it in. So what is a personal narrative? Blank are the main character in this blank story. Well, you are the main character in this true story. So some examples that you could write, I want you to come up with 3 examples of a story about you. So I wrote a story about the time I hit a home run. Another example is a story about the time I baked a birthday cake for Mom. Or I could also write a story about the time I missed the bus and was late to school. So you can either write those 3 examples or come up with 3 examples of your own. When you are done with this activity, you are going to take a picture of your anchor chart that you just created in your writer's notebook, and you are going to upload it in the next activity.